negotiable. I'm going to Cancun. I'm going to enjoy it. The question is how many people on my current and existing team are going with me, and um, how many people that have yet to join the team are coming, right? And so you have to have a vision and goals for yourself and what success looks like for you as well as your team. And what it really boils down to is how many lives are you impacting? And that goes back to that webinar the other night. And that's what she was talking about. She said, we come into this business and we might say, you know, like in my case, my example, oh, I've got a master's degree, I've got all this corporate experience, I'm worth more than because in the beginning you don't make a lot of money in these businesses. You don't, because you have to build that up. And it's like, okay, that's what you came in the door with. That's what you came in the door with. If you're trying to get to the next level, it's a matter of how many lives have you impacted? How many lives have you impacted? And I know I did a post on this earlier this year about setting your goals. Is how many lives do you want to impact? One of my biggest numbers for a number of lives that I want to impact is my number of customers. I now have, thanks to people going inactive, I now have 72 customers in my back office. And I actually have more than that because there are a handful of people that I have always done their order for them. Okay? So that's part of how I'm able to guarantee myself 3,000 PGS every month, right? And sometimes we don't hit these promotions because we're not ready. Because again, it's not about buying the promotion, because I've seen people do that several times in a lot of different places I didn't even, lay my hat. It's not about buying the position. I never wanted to buy a rank, because it's one thing to hit it and it's another to keep it. It's one thing to hit it and it's another to keep it, okay? But it's about deciding and removing and eliminating the distractions and the excuses. Nobody can convince me that children are the reason that they are not successful. And I'm saying that as a single mom who worked a full-time job, was working on a master's degree, and had 2 children running around the house several years ago. There's no reason that anyone should be blaming their children for their lack of success, okay? Because that's not a children problem. That's a scheduling problem. That's a parenting problem sometimes. It's a lack of spousal support. It's all other kinds of things, but it's not the children. No more, because I was having this conversation with someone yesterday in one of my networking groups about your children are not your why. Your children just are not your why, right? Now, if you were to say, my children are not my why because I don't want my children to grow up in abject poverty like I did this is not my story or anyone's story that I know, I'm just making it up. I don't want my children to live in abject poverty, to in a home with mice and roaches and relying on government assistance. Now that's a why. That's a why. But to just say my children, that's not a why. It's not, right? And they can be your why if you get really specific and really get down to the heart of it where it makes you cry. Then yeah, because if I'll put it this way, if children were people's why, a lot more people would be at the top of all companies. A lot more people would be successful business owners. A lot more people would be just more successful in general if children were truly their why. Okay? Looking good. I like. Okay, so children can't be they can be your why, but you got to be really specific. If your why doesn't make you cry, and they can also be an excuse, but they're usually not the legitimate excuse. It's usually something else that is between the parent and the children that are quote unquote making the children the excuse, because children just really aren't the excuse. If you can't figure out how to, I don't know if discipline is the right word, but have family structure in order to be able to do what it is that you need, that can be a huge issue, right? And so these are some of the types of things I used to have to work with employees on, right? So I would have to get up in the huddle because we would have our daily huddle, and we would have to talk about like, hey, tonight they're projecting 8 inches of snow. So I'm just going to let you know right now, if you're scheduled for work at 8:30, you can't call me at 8:10 and say that you're going to be late because you're shoveling out your car. Because I'm letting you know right now that the weatherman is forecasting 8 inches. So that means you're going to need to get up earlier than your normal time in order to be able to shovel yourself out of your car. And I know you're a millennial and that your parents have made all kinds of excuses for you, but you're an adult now. And this is what adults do. This is what adults do. You have to get up early and shovel your car out because you need to be to work on time. Okay? You need to be to work on time. So if you call me at 8:10 and you're going to be late, in all reality, it's probably going to be fine because we probably won't have people lined up outside the bank because of the snow. And just like you're snowed in, they are snowed in also. But it doesn't mean that it's not going on your record. And if you hit that level where I got to give you a verbal, or I got to write you up, or I got to term you, so be it, so it is, because that's a personal problem. That's not a Chase Bank problem. That's not a Tamira problem. That you don't know how to adult and get up and go shovel your car out because the weatherman told you that we're going to get dumped with snow, and you didn't go out and do what adults do and get your butt out there and make sure that you could get your car out and get on the road. Now, it's different if you call me and you say, I've been on the road 2 hours and I'm still behind. I'm on my way. I've been on my way 2 hours and traffic is just that bad. I can understand that because I do have liberty to decide if I'm going to put it in the book or not. But I got to do it with, what's the word I'm looking for? In a non-discriminatory way. I got to do it equally. I got to be fair in all that I do. And so you got to help me be fair. I'm doing my part. I'm doing more than my part. I shouldn't have to tell you this as an adult. But I'm letting you know, if you call me at 8:10 and it's 8:31 and you're not in my branch and you're not where you're supposed to be, logged into your teller station with your teller drawer in, that's your problem, and you're going to have to deal with the consequences because this is what adults do. And not everybody will stand here before you and tell you that. Okay? And so that's the kind of thing that you got to do to yourself as well. I have a hard time getting out of bed in the winter. I do. It's cold. I don't like getting out of the bed. I'm not a morning person, but I have to make myself get up so that I can build my business. And that's how my business has been able to hit director every single month, because I've decided that that is the bare minimum for my business. That's the bare minimum for my business is director. Okay? And so now it's about who on the team is also going to decide with me that director is the bare minimum. Okay? Because I'm going to be honest with you. Last year this time, director scared the crap out of me. And I was a leader in another company, but the director scared the crap out of me. It wasn't until I did, like in the video, I've given you everything that you need. Bellame has given you everything that you need. It wasn't until I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that was up at the top. I should be going for senior partner and executive partner. And so I hit senior partner really easy because I'm Tamira. I mean, seriously, 500 in sales, that I can do that. I can do that. And my own orders count too. I can do that. So I did that. And then here's what happened. In June, I should have hit executive, 1,000 with 3 people. Okay? I should have hit executive in June. And I missed it because I fell asleep. 2 people were trying to use the coupon code. And mind you, I had been messaging people. I had been blasting it all over social media. And I fell asleep. I didn't go to sleep. I fell asleep. Like my body just said, nope, you're done. And woke up to messages from 2 people that would have made me executive. But instead of being pissed off, instead of hanging my head low and blaming everybody else, I just kept running. I just kept going. And within a week, the first week of July, I hit senior, and then executive. And it was like, it's not even 2 weeks into the month. I might as well roll for director. I might as well roll for director. So I double promoted in July because I decided that I was worthy, I was deserving, and I should go after it. I said, let's go, let's do it, right? Like Beryl said, I said, let's do it. And I started running, and I went for it. I went buck wild. I went so buck wild that my volume went up and up and up and up. The team volume went up and up and up. We almost hit 10,000 in September. And then still for months, the aftermath just, and I kept running and doing the work, right? But that's what it was. It was a decision to try, to go for it. This year, last time, it just seemed really scary for a lot of reasons, right? It was like imposter syndrome. I don't know if I'm really all that. I mean, I know I talk a big game, and I had to really think, like, Tamira, you've done this. You've done it before. You can do it again. But I missed it in June. I literally, and it was like, I probably fell asleep but somewhere between 10:30 and 11:15, and the messages came through after that. I'm trying to do this and it's not working. And so those 2 orders came in, and all the people that I had been talking to for months, and from all the lives that I had been doing, people started the orders just started popping in July. They just started popping. And then we launched the mascara, and we ran out of cleanser. We didn't even have cleanser in July. We ran out of cleanser. And so that's where the whole launch with mascara method came from. Just go with the mascara and the eyeliner. Beryl's saying you can do it.